I start from the principle that I don't trust North Korea. And I think that's probably a good place for the president to be. They're engaged in what I call accommodation. This is a period of accommodation. You look at the history of dealing with North Korea, we've gone through periods of provocation and periods of accommodation. Even we try to work with them when there are these periods of accommodation, but ultimately we found out that we couldn't trust them.
Can we trust Kim Jung Un, little rocket man ahead of these nuclear talks, even after the prisoner release? Former CIA military analyst and spokesperson for the Counter-Extremism Project is here, Tara Mahler. Tara, what do you make of these developments and the hostages being released from North Korea?
Sure. The hostages being released is a victory. It is a huge victory to get 3 Americans who are being detained home. That goes without saying. Having said that, that does not mean that we have a victory here yet in terms of negotiations. It's a good faith gesture by the North Koreans. It shows some goodwill leading up to the talks. That's what you want to see from both sides. You want positive rhetoric. You'd like to see that both sides are going to the table with genuine willingness to compromise and reach some sort of agreement. But North Koreans have proven untrustworthy before. North Koreans have proven to do things that and renege on parts of what they claim to want to be doing. So I think that it's an irreversible measure that they took to show good faith, but they might expect something in return that we're not willing to give. So it remains to be seen how this actually impacts the developments at the summit itself.
Well, it's interesting because Senator Schumer is warning not to use these hostages as bargaining chips, but that's what North Korea would be doing, not the United States. And so far, we haven't heard of any concessions given for their release. And, you know, you have to realize the timeline here. This is all happening before the 2 leaders meet, supposedly in Singapore. So, you know, Schumer says this gives countries, especially rogue regimes, incentive to take American hostages. What do you think about that worry?
No, I don't really agree with that. I think that this move in and of itself is a positive development. I don't think it necessarily translates into positive developments in terms of the negotiations. In fact, the North Koreans could use this for PR purposes. They could use this going into the talks to say, look, we did this. What is the United States doing in return? We haven't seen them give us a concession. They're very, you know, skilled and cunning when it comes to these maneuvers on the public stage and in terms of propaganda for their own population. So I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but we have to wait and see. And I think one of the key things to look for is the trustworthiness of the North Koreans going into these talks. And we're not going to really know that until both parties get to the table. We see the deal that may or may not be made. Again, President Trump has said if he doesn't think a good deal is going to be made, he may even walk out of the talks. Those are his words himself.
No, he has said that he will get up and walk away. Sorry, go ahead and continue.
Exactly. So he'll get up and walk away. And the key point here is even if the North Koreans agree to denuclearize, which I'm not sure they will in terms of the definition that the United States wants them to, which would be getting rid of all their ballistic missiles, getting rid of all their nuclear materials, having open and very intrusive inspections. Even if they do that, we have to trust that we know where all the material is, that we know where all the sites are, and that they're cooperating in terms of verification.
I mean, we know because of, you know, firsthand accounts and certainly thousands and thousands of pages of documents from the NSA that the United States government has the ability to pretty much spy on anyone, anywhere, at any given time through a number of means. So we should absolutely know where their nuclear arsenal and their capabilities are buried and located. But, you know, what about giving them the ability to have nuclear energy and opening up those labor camps so some of the other hostages and political prisoners and, you know, those who have been sentenced to a short lifetime of brutal labor can be freed?
I mean, I'd love to fully agree with the first portion of your statement about the quality of intelligence on North Korea, and I'm no longer in the intelligence community and I didn't work on North Korea, but North Korea is known to be one of the most difficult cases in terms of intelligence and the quality of the intelligence. And while we might have good insight into the nuclear materials and their missiles, there are, you know, competing estimates out there in terms of numbers on missiles. There are competing estimates about our knowledge of where everything is located, and only one site needs to be hidden, right, for the potential denuclearization deal to be violated or for them to be cheating. And also they could go back on their word. So verification is going to be key. I think it was former Secretary of Energy under President Obama, who was saying the other day, normally in these cases you say trust but verify. But when you're talking about the North Koreans, you say don't trust anything and verify, 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 because they've been known to be very deceptive and they've broken out of deals that they've signed before. Again, that doesn't mean we shouldn't be trying to talk. That doesn't mean this is not all positive developments.
No, things are certainly headed in the right direction.
They're heading in the right direction.
We can't waltz into those meetings with a ukulele strumming Kumbaya and hope for the best outcome just because hope is a neat thing. It's not. President Obama proved it. Tara, thank you so much.